Sisters, I am so excited to announce to you that I have officially opened my one-on-one coaching business as now a certified mommy millionaire life and transformation strategist. I've opened up my coaching business where you get to work with me directly to heal and transform your life. Do you have a knowing in your soul that you have more to you? Do you have this knowing and you're just not sure how to access it? Are you miserable because of it? Do you feel like you're just mom and you know that there's more than being just mom? Are you feeling stuck in your life and you know that you were created to be, have, and do more than what was already going on? Listen, I totally get you, sister. I've been there and it was one of the most crushing places to sit in. You're feeling stuck, like you will never get where you want to be. You've been spinning your wheels in the dirt and are not getting there. I was there too until I hired myself a coach. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you move from that place into a place where you know and have a deep-seated vision where you want to go and how you're going to get there. I'm here to help you to find more purpose and joy and laughter in your life. I'm here to help you move from that place into a place of creative thinking, taking actions towards your goals on a daily basis. And I'm here to help you understand that there's nothing wrong with you, to understand the blocks that are truly holding you back and how to break free from them. I know that my purpose is to help women just like you become free and so radically in love with your life that everything you desire becomes a reality for you. So, how can you work with me? I am offering one-on-one coaching sessions for an amazing deal right now with my beta group. You get 5 sessions for $200, and this is going to the first 10 people who sign up with me. After that, this pricing is going to go away and it will not be available ever again. So if you want to work directly with me, shoot me an email at katrinalelly@gmail.com, or you can always find me on Instagram or Facebook and send me a direct message that way. I would love to get on a call with you and talk about whether or not this would be a good fit and how we can transform your life and get you moving forward and out of that place where you feel miserable, like you have no purpose and that you're just stuck. So reach out to me because these 10 spots are gonna fill up fast. Welcome to the Just As We Are podcast. I'm Katrina Lelly, a wife, mom in recovery, certified life and transformation strategist, community cultivator, lover of people, and student of life. Each week, I'll bring you love, inspiration, share the harder things people are afraid to talk about, and guests who are willing to shine their light for you. I give you self-care practices and mindset tips to help you shatter the negative stories you tell yourself. Now is the time to step into the beautiful, loved, whole woman you already are. Let's walk this journey together. Welcome back to the Just As We Are podcast. I'm just going to dive right into this episode with you guys. It's so funny. I came in here and sat down at my computer to listen to the episode that I was actually going to release for you guys today. And I got to listening to it, and I did an IGTV earlier today that will be out by the time you guys listen to this as well, that expressed some information in regards to the episode that I previously recorded to come out today. And the episode that I previously recorded to come out today was inspired from a quote that I heard on somebody else's podcast, who they heard a quote or saw a quote on Instagram that is going around about, using your time during this time. And that quote is, if you haven't started that thing that you keep saying that you're going to start, you haven't started that thing during this time, then your problem is not a time problem. Your problem is a discipline problem, which I loved this quote when I heard it, and I was so inspired to come in and share on it and record an episode for you guys. And I still love the validity of this quote, of what was shared, that if you don't start that thing that you say you want to start during this time, it's not a time problem. It was never a time problem. It's a discipline problem. And for me, it goes even deeper than just being a discipline problem, because there is a reason why you are not disciplined in doing what it is you say you want to do. Or maybe you're saying you want to do this thing, but you really don't want to. And for me, it is all about digging deeper. What is underneath the reason that you are not showing up and being disciplined in the new activity that you want to start? Maybe it's an exercise routine. Maybe it's eating well. Maybe it's getting up and before the kids and journaling. Maybe it's cutting back a habit. Maybe it's quitting something. Maybe it's starting something. But how often have you found yourself saying, oh, I really want to start something like that, but I don't because I don't have the time, because your plate has been so filled up. So in that, there's also some information going around. There's another article out there from a psychologist who specializes in trauma and saying this, this shouldn't be shared. Like, how dare you tell people they're not disciplined enough? And really got this psychologist fired up. And I'm telling you what, if it fires you up, if it affects you in that way, if you're feeling something around it, it's because there's something there for you to look at. We don't get triggered by things if there isn't something there for us to look at. So if that quote triggers you in some way, if you feel resentment towards it, frustration, or whatever, then there's something there for you. It resonates with you in some way that you don't appreciate. Maybe you don't appreciate somebody saying that. And I get where that comes from. I get why people can say that. And I get that we are also in a time right now that is so just chaotic. And there is trauma that's going on out there. People are losing their lives to this coronavirus. There is no denying that whatsoever. To me, this quote goes to the people who have said, I really want to start this thing, but I don't have enough time. And maybe they're still complaining. Maybe they're still choosing into a story. Maybe they're still talking about it, but they haven't started it yet. This has nothing to do with people who just don't want to do it. But it's the people who are continuing to talk about starting a new project, maybe starting a podcast, maybe writing a book, maybe, starting that workout routine, that have still continued to talk about it and want to complain and say, well, I don't have time for it. Well, most of us have been given the gift of time right now. So we do have the time right now. And so if you're being triggered by this quote, then there's something there for you to look at. And to me, yes, it is a discipline problem. Trust me, this quote would have pissed me off back in the day. It would have made me say, you know what, screw you, then I'm not going to do that thing. Or it would have made me say, screw you, I'm going to show you. It would have taken me either way. The thing is, some of us also say, oh, I wish I could do that thing, but maybe start that new business, that side gig hustle with the network marketing company, or maybe I'd start this new thing, or I'd start going to the gym more with you. Like, many of us say those things when we truly don't even mean it. We're just trying to get whomever's bugging us off of our back. And so there's something underneath that for you to look at. The reason some of us are not disciplined is because we're out of alignment with ourselves. We're out of our alignment in some way with, is this truly what we want? No, because oftentimes the surface, when we first go into something, oftentimes it's not what we actually want. Or is it something that we do want, but maybe we don't believe we're worthy about it? And then it becomes a limiting belief problem, more so than a discipline problem. Because if we don't feel worthy of, or feel like we're good enough, or feel like we're going to be judged by other people, then we're not going to do that thing. We're not going to step up and put in the habit, put in the little work every single day, building the discipline. So I get why people can be triggered by this, but I also want to say, if it is triggering you, if you're that person who's like, you know what, I think this is crap, there's something under there for you. There might be something under there for you to look at. And I think it's true. Too many of us talk about, I want to write a book, but I just don't have the time. I don't sit down and have the time. Or I want to spend more times with my kids, sit down and actually have some conversations with them, but I don't have the time. Like, is discipline, it takes discipline. It takes a change of habits, even in relationship with people. It takes intentional time, changing what we're used to doing, changing our habits. But why is it we lack that connection with our kids? Why do we not sit down and read to them more? I'm one of those moms who, like, Caleb is the first little guy that I read to Tristan and Cassidy when they were younger, but I know that I read to Caleb even more than I did Tristan and Cassidy. It's because I was in a different space. That's not what I was interested in. And even now, as Tristan and Cassidy age, like, I am having to be more intentional, not having to, but getting to be more intentional about, like, how I show up in their life, how I engage with them, how I take that extra time to hug them and love on them. And I'm sort of digressing, but that's okay. It's my podcast. It's my show. You can continue to listen, or you can hit the stop button at any time. But showing up with that discipline is like, what's underneath that? Why do we lack the discipline? What is going on underneath that? It often comes from something we lack in ourselves. It comes from a limiting belief, and limiting beliefs constrain us. They're beliefs that we hold to be true that are made up in our minds of something that we can't do or are not capable of. They're whatever keeps us small. So until you dig in and become aware of that limiting belief, you don't really know what's really going on. Why am I not disciplined? I've asked that question to myself for years. Like, when it comes to exercise, I'll do really good for a little while and then I'll stop. And then I'll do really good for a little while and then I'll stop. And it's like, well, why do I keep doing this? Why am I not just one of those rock stars who works out every day, 6 days out of the week, 1 day for rest day, whatever that it looks like? Why am I not one of those people who just continues to work out? Well, okay, you have to dig down into it. Well, why? What is it about this? Like, why do I not want to treat my body that well? It's because it takes work. It takes effort. It's change for me. It relates back to me wanting somebody else to take care of me. That's a limiting belief I have. That's a story I tell myself, thinking somebody else needs to take care of me because I grew up way too freaking young and I felt like I took care of everybody else in my life for a really long time. And I did. And so it kind of ties back into that, like, showing up for myself has been a story that I've had to reprogram and change up that story to tell myself something different that was more supportive. And that carried me into that. On the other side of this article that I've seen go around, you know what? And I'll say it, some of my friends have posted about it. And at first I was like a little like, am I not supposed to be sharing this stuff? Should I not be talking about this stuff? Like, am I that person that is just like shaming people? Because I don't ever want to shame anybody. And any of my friends who know me and take the time, or somebody who knows me and gets to know my story, like, that's not my purpose. I share my motivational, inspirational love and light to the world during this time that can seem so chaotic. And is there tragedy in this time? Of course there is. There is tragedy that goes on every day, even when we are not in stay-at-home lockdown because of a COVID-19 virus. There's tragedy every day. However, how we show up makes a difference. And so if I can come on and bring hope and light to my community in hopes that it sparks something with somebody in my community, and that person can take it out and carry it out and carry it out. So that way the light is being shown, the hope is being brought forth, that people know that there is still love in the world, there is still good in the world, and that we're all going to come out on the other side of this one way or another. And we still get to choose how we show up in this time. I've been talking a lot about this. We get to choose how we show up during this time. Is it frustrating at times? Yes. Is there anxiety at times? Yes. Is there sadness at times? Yeah, I've been sad these last couple of days. I am grieving that I am not living the life that I was living. I am grieving that my friendships with my friends, I don't get to see them. I'm grieving hugs. I miss hugs. I've been sad that I feel locked down. In fact, last night I had a dream that I was a prisoner and that for 70 days I was going to prison because I don't remember what the reason was, but I was begging the officer to look at my record. I'm a really good person. I have a clean record. And this was a one-time thing. And I don't even know how this happened. And you're going to send, and there was nobody willing to listen to me or hear me. And that's something for my childhood is I've never felt heard. I never felt like anybody was in my corner. And so that part was something old. And then the prison, I think, related to, one of the shows that I was watching, quite honestly, because that happens often. And then also, too, literally feeling like I'm in a prison, like I'm locked away and not allowed to leave my house. I am allowed to leave my house. I have choices. I can take a drive somewhere. I can go to the grocery store. I don't go to the grocery store that often, so calm down. It's okay. I take precautions. I can go for a walk. I can ride a bike. I can do things that are not just locked down in my house. I am staying home to stay safe, to help those other people out there who are having a more difficult time with this. So, and I get to come here and I get to coach women and I get to come on my podcast and share my love and light with you guys. And I get to put that out to the world. So for people like me who still share their love and their light, keep doing it because we need it, especially during this time. A time that can seem like so much darkness to people because they're losing lives. They're losing their jobs. They're missing friendships. They're missing their old way of life. There's so much here. And if you get caught going down the rabbit hole of darkness, you will be in the dark. If you reach up for the sunlight of the Spirit, you will find the sunlight. And so how do we want to show up? After I read the article, I kind of got a little bit better understanding, I didn't feel so worried about it that, was I doing something wrong? And see there too, what's coming up for me? Why am I thinking that when I'm trying to share my love and my light, why did I go into thinking there was something wrong? There's so much that we can do right now to where this doesn't have to be a time of tragedy and sadness. Is there tragedy and sadness? Yes. Feel the feelings, feel whatever is going to come up for you. Allow yourself to feel that, but you don't have to stay there because guess what, people? We really don't know when we're going to feel like we're actually coming up and out on the other side of this. We don't really know when we're going to be allowed to start to gather with other human beings again. We don't know what that looks like, and the unknown is such a scary place for so many different people. We don't know. We really don't know. And the more love and light we can share with our communities in the best way that we know how is better. Feel those days. Go through those days. Feel those days, those moments of panic and terror, anxiety and fear. Do it and tell somebody, reach out. Do whatever you need to do. Have a dance party. Be with it, journal it out, whatever it's going to be, allow yourself to feel that. You guys, this is a great time to start looking at why do I keep choosing into toxic relationships? Why do I keep choosing to start a workout plan and then I sabotage it? Why do I say I'm going to eat healthy and then I sabotage it? Why am I not willing to say to my friend who keeps bugging me about her network marketing business that I don't want to be a part of it in a kind and loving way? Why do I keep trying to people please other people? Why do I keep trying not to hurt other people's feelings? Why am I not dedicated to sitting down and writing my book? Why am I not dedicated to meditating for 15 minutes every day? Like, what is the stop of that discipline? What is that right there, right now? I mean, I'm going through the same thing too. I'm in a group right now with some friends who it's called the challenge. I don't remember what the group is called, but it was started back in September. It was a group to come together, work out for 30 minutes for 30 days. An accountability type group. Can we do it? Let's do it. Let's come together and rally together. And we ignited that group for this month. And it's been so helpful for me to be in that community and to have that accountability, knowing that like nobody's going to judge me if I don't work out today. However, I know I'm going to upset myself. I know that I'm going to not be okay with myself because I didn't keep my promise to myself. So it has me looking at, again, what is it with working out where I get started and then I stop and then I get started and then I stop? Sometimes it's looking at it in the fact that like, hey, it just happens. Like there's seasons of life that come and go and happens. Let's see. You were pregnant 2.5 years ago, and you had a baby. So is your body where it's going to be, where you want it to be? Of course not. And coming out of this baby, time is a little bit different than when you had the twins. Your body isn't resetting the way you want it to, So it's being willing to dig into it. And you guys, if stuff like that is pissing you off, if somebody's motivational quotes or, looking at the bright side of things pisses you off, what's there for you? What is there for you to look at? Now, I will say, if there's people out there, because I've seen them, who are sharing like all the motivational things and they're all happy and they're walking around as if there is nothing sad in the world, as if they're not recognizing or noticing the reality of the world. I get that. The deal is to recognize the reality of the world and where do I see the sunlight? Where do I see the spirit? Where do I see the hope? Where do I see the love? Where is my opportunity to grow in this? So that's what I have to share. It's so funny to me that I came in to listen to my other episode and I'm like, you know what? I am just not feeling this one. Maybe I'll share it at a different time. Maybe it'll come out today too. I don't know. Maybe we'll do 2 episodes. I have no idea. I'll leave it up to my podcast editor. I want to share that with you guys. That was on my heart because there is so much going on in the world right now that we can look at. And no matter what, we still get to choose how we show up in the world and how we look at the world. There is always opportunity for us to do some inward diving, some inward work, and to look within. Why is that bothering you? If it is, why, first of all, is the quote bothering you if it is? What's there for you? And what is that thing that you said you've always wanted to do that you're not starting? What's the limiting belief or the story that you're telling yourself that is keeping you from being larger than life? What is that limiting belief or that story that you're telling yourself to put yourself down, to keep you in shame, to keep you from reaching up and embracing that sunlight, that spirit, that love, that hope? I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please do me a favor and share this with your communities if it resonates with you. And if you love it, head on over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. I would so appreciate it, you guys, especially during this time. It is so important to share that love and that light with other people. And if you believe that my podcast can do that for your community or for other people, take the time to go do that. It helps me get my message out. It helps me spread my love, and we can do it together. Talk to you soon. Hi, friends. If you enjoyed this episode of the Just As We Are podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would head on over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. Take a screenshot of today's episode and tag me at Katrina on your social media. If you haven't already, head on over to the Just As We Are podcast community on Facebook and hit join, where you will get to join more of the Just As We Are tribe. And remember that no matter where you are on your journey, you are completely whole and loved just as you are.